in those places, the salaries, the budgets, there's less money, and that's why it takes for them more time to switch to a newer planes.
That is right. This is a big update coming in right now, on Republic TV. And like we were telling our viewers that this was a plane, An-24 plane, which is globally retired. So it is an older plane. And now investigation will reveal what happened. It's a technical issue, or it was the fault of the pilot, or there was any other problem, like Nick is saying, that we don't know so far yet. But Nick, I want you to help our viewers understand how was this rescue operation launched, because it took a while to find this aircraft. Is this a mountainous region which is difficult to access? Or was there weather which is involved?
Yeah, definitely. It is a really hard area to get because there are a lot of forests there, a lot of trees, and it is a mountain. It was really close to the place where the plane was supposed to land, and actually it was the second attempt of the plane to land when it crashed just 15 kilometers from the place where it's supposed to land. And the plane can make it in 1-2 minutes. It's really close. And unfortunately, this is the most critical time of any plane. The landing time also as the takeoff time. So that's why in this time, maybe the pilots have a lot of responsibility to make it safe, to land safely, but still it is too early to understand what exactly happened there.
Right, okay. Thanks for joining us there, Nick, with all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more. Wreckage has been found on the Russian plane, viewers, and still the investigation will reveal what really happened. Let's move ahead right now, viewers, because Prime Minister Modi has started his two-nation visit with the UK at the invitation of British Prime Minister. Now, this marks his fourth official visit to the UK. It's his fourth official visit, reaffirming the growing depth and breadth of India-UK ties, particularly in defense, in innovation, healthcare, education, and the diaspora engagement. Here's a highlight of the initial hours of the Prime Minister's visit in the UK.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah reviewed major hydro and solar power projects across region. He has directed for accelerating execution timelines and resolving bottlenecks. This meeting also deliberated on the hydropower police draft which aims to replace 2011 policy and open new avenues for private investment. Operation Angara continues in Uttar Pradesh. Another notorious miscreant named Kuldeep was injured during a police encounter in Lucknow. Injured is shifted to a hospital while a number plate on the motorcycle, 2 cartridges, 1 pistol and rupees 25,000 were cash was recovered from his possession. A big meeting of All India Imam Organization will be held today in Haryana Bhavan in Delhi. Several prominent imams across the country have been invited. Meanwhile, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat may also attend the meeting. Getting you some more updates coming in, viewers. Let's go ahead. Supreme Court stays Bombay High Court judgment on acquittal of 12 accused persons in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast. No rearrest to be done. In connection with the betting app case, ED issues fresh notice to actor Vijay Deverakonda. Stay tuned, viewers. We are live in breaking.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Welcome, you're watching Live and Breaking at 1:30 p.m. I am Tanisha Avasthi. The spotlight remains on the Supreme Court's order on the 2006 Mumbai blast case, where they have stayed the acquittal that was granted by the Bombay High Court. However, the accused will not be rearrested. Acquittal has been stayed, but convicts remain free. And why is that so? The big question remains that. We're tracking that and a lot more for you on this edition. But first, a quick check of the headlines. Russian plane An-24 carrying 43 passengers crashes in Russia's Far East Amur region. Major crackdown on digital arrests and online scams in Cambodia. Over 3,000 individuals involved in the online fraud arrested. In connection with the betting app case, the Enforcement Directorate issues fresh notice to actor Vijay Deverakonda. Supreme Court stays Bombay High Court judgment on acquittal of 12 accused person in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast. No rearrest to be done. ED raids Anil Ambani linked properties in Mumbai, case registered against Reliance Anil Ambani group companies.
ये उत्पाती लोग हैं, आतंकवादी हैं, बवाल कर रहे हैं और पूरे देश में लोगों का जीना हराम कर दिया इन्होंने सड़कों को बंद करके.
AIMM leader insults Kavariya's, links them to goons. All eyes on India-United Kingdom landmark free trade agreement deal. Starmer hails FTA deal with India, calls it major win for Britain. Thai and Cambodian soldiers fired at each other in multiple contested border areas. 3 civilians have been injured. Starting this edition with some breaking news that's coming in, and this is in regard with Darshan's bail plea, where the top court has now wrapped the High Court over Darshan's bail plea. The Supreme Court will examine High Court's bail that has been granted to Darshan. A huge news break that Republic Canada is getting. Remember, Darshan was earlier granted bail by the High Court. As far as the Goswami murder is concerned, the Supreme Court today has questioned where they have taken into confidence the CCTV, the blood stains and the eyewitnesses account in the case. Shambhavi is joining me live on the broadcast on that note. Shambhavi, take us through the top arguments that were made inside the Supreme Court. I believe it was Siddharth Luthra who was advocating for the Karnataka High Court. I beg your pardon, the Karnataka government. Yes, Shambhavi. Shambhavi, if you can hear me, can you please take us through the top arguments that were made inside the Supreme Court as far as Darshan's bail plea is concerned?
Yes. So, of course, the Supreme Court very briefly heard the matter today related to the murder case in which the Karnataka government has challenged the bail which was granted to actor Darshan, and there were others as well by the Karnataka High Court. And then there was this bench of Justices J.B. Padewala and Mahadevan, which had early.
All right, Shambhavi, we are facing problem connecting to you with your network. However, we will get back to you on that top story. But for now, we move on to some other stories that we're tracking, and this is about the Enforcement Directorate raids on the businessman Anil Ambani's residence in Mumbai. Now, the preliminary investigation reveals illegal loan diversion of around rupees 3,000 crore from the Yes Bank. The Enforcement Directorate has found that just before the loan was granted, the Yes Bank promoters received money in their concerns. The Enforcement Directorate is now investigating the nexus of bribe and loan. This is a huge story that we are getting for you as far as the Enforcement Directorate raids on business tycoon Anil Ambani is concerned. We learned that the Reliance Communications Limited has also committed a loan fraud of rupees 14,000 crore allegedly. It is noteworthy that the Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary, confirmed in Parliament that the State Bank of India had classified Reliance Communications and its promoter Anil Ambani as fraudulent in accordance with the RBI guidelines. Now, the SBI had reported this classification to the RBI and is preparing to file a complaint with the Central Bureau of Investigation. Highly placed sources have also confirmed that undisclosed foreign bank accounts and foreign assets are also being investigated. Meenakshi is joining me live from Mumbai on that note. Meenakshi, where are you at this point in time? Where is Anil Ambani? Has his company or his organization issued any statement as far as the Enforcement Directorate raids are concerned?
Not yet. Anil Ambani didn't give any statement or his company. Now, as you told, you got to know that the ED conducted search operation at several locations linked to industrialist Anil Ambani's companies in Mumbai, and 3 and more locations are on a radar of ED. 2 locations are in South Mumbai. One is in Port area where the Anil Ambani's Reliance Center situated, and the another is near to EG office. It's also in South Mumbai, and it's in Balad state where the Anil Ambani's Reliance company is situated. Now, total the operation covered 35 locations and involved 50 companies and targeted over 25 individuals connected to this case. And as you told, we got to know that a preliminary investigation reveals the illegal loan diversion of around.
Right, Meenakshi. All right, we seem to have a problem connecting with Meenakshi as well, but we will get back to that top story. For now, it's time for us to move on and focus on some international news. Thailand apparently has launched airstrikes on Cambodian military targets as Cambodia fired rockets and artillery, killing a civilian in a dramatic escalation of a long-running border row between the two neighbors. The neighbors are locked in a bitter spat over an area known as the Emerald Triangle, where the borders of both countries and Laos meet, and which is home to several ancient temples. The visuals of the clashes are on your screen. The clashes have got extremely unruly. We are getting reports of few people being injured and few being dead in the clashes as well. Remember, Thailand, this is the airstrike that Thailand has launched on the Cambodian military targets, as Cambodia had also fired rockets and artillery, killing a civilian in the dramatic escalation of a long-standing border row between the two neighbors. Joining me on the broadcast is Manish Pandey live from Bangkok. Manish, talk to us about what is it that happened today that triggered these clashes. It is a long-standing border row, as we understand, but what is it that we saw a huge escalation today?
I am living in Bangkok, in Patlam area, so we don't know what happened in the border area is going to clash there. So that's why we are seeing like this. Hello.
Yes, Manish, please go on. We can hear you.
We are seeing like this. Maybe they are going to solve very soon.
All right, Manish, and how is the situation like right now? If you talk about, we saw visuals on our screen where there were airstrikes and artillery that was being fired at the other side from Thailand specifically to Cambodia.
This is all going on happening in the border areas because I am living in the capital, Bangkok. So there is no effect in here because we are living on and we are not facing any kind of problems here.
Right. Manish, thank you very much for getting us those details. Quickly moving across to the other stories that we're tracking in Bharat in 1 minute.
Bharat 1 minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Tuticorin Airport in Tamil Nadu has undergone a major upgrade with a Rupees 381 crore revamp, including a new terminal, extended runway and advanced facilities. The runway has been lengthened to 3,115 meters, allowing larger aircraft to land even after dusk. With improved infrastructure, the airport is now poised to handle domestic and potential international flights, boosting regional connectivity and economic growth. India and China held the 33rd WMCC meeting in Delhi to review the LAC situation and prepare for upcoming special representatives talks. Both sides agreed to maintain peace, improve communication and resume cross-border cooperation, including river data sharing and Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage. Amid heavy rains and rising water levels, the BSF water wing continues to vigilantly guard the unfenced international border in Jammu, where swollen rivers flow towards Pakistan. This specialized unit of the Border Security Force plays a crucial role in patrolling India's riverine frontiers. Cutting across to some breaking news that's coming in, and this is in regard with the Udaipur files row. The Jamaat has filed a petition yet again, and this is in the Supreme Court against the centre approving Udaipur files movie with 6 cuts. The petition says that Muslim community has been demonized in the film. So the Muslim community, the Muslim organization here, Jamaat in this case, has filed a petition in the top court, and this is after the court had allowed the centre to release the movie. However, it had given some directions saying that there should be several cuts in the movie. 6 cuts to be precise. Had been given to the film director, saying that once these 6 cuts have been done in the movie, only then can the film be eligible to be released. For the same, the Jamaat has now filed a petition in the Supreme Court against the centre approving Udaipur Files movie with 6 cuts. Now, the petition says that the Muslim community in the movie has been demonized. Udaipur Files controversy has been continuing for weeks now. Remember, this is a movie about the Udaipur tailor Kanhaiya Lal, who was brutally murdered. The murder was recorded on a cam, and just because he was murdered because he decided to support the then BJP leader Nupur Sharma over her controversial statements. All right, staying on the story, it remains to be seen on how the top court reacts to the Jamaat that has filed a petition in the Supreme Court over the issue. Remember, it was the INB panel that had okayed the movie and no Supreme Court not yet had been given. The INB Ministry Special Committee had on Monday, in fact, cleared the release of the film Udaipur Files, the Kanhaiya Lal Tailor murder, with a new disclaimer replacing the name. We also learned that the film would not be released in theatres as the Supreme Court bench asked the petitioners to file their objections to the committee's Monday order. The bench posted the matter for hearing on a Thursday. The Supreme Court had posted Udaipur Files Kanhaiya Lal murder movie release case for further hearing on Thursday, that is today, and said that till then the film would not be released in theatres. So a big hearing is awaited on that as well, which is going to come up at the top court in just some moments from now. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta had said the committee passed the order after watching the film and hearing objections from the Council for Petitioners. It has ordered additional cuts and changes apart from the 55 cuts that affected on orders of the Central Board for Film Certification, that is the CBFC, prior to allowing its release. The panel, remember, was headed by Additional Secretary in INB Ministry Prabhat and comprising of advisory panel members Anila Sharma, Satish Pandey and others. In its order, in fact, this committee had recommended release of the film for commercial public viewing after carrying out following changes and modifications. Now, the changes were, number 1, about replacing the existing disclaimer with a recommended one and include a voice over for the other disclaimer. Certain cuts that had been given. Shambhavi is joining me live on the broadcast on that. Shambhavi, the Jamaat has filed a fresh petition in the Supreme Court, and we also learned that the Supreme Court is to take up the matter today. Talk to us about what are the possible arguments that the Supreme Court could hear. I believe we are still not in touch with Shambhavi, but Shambhavi, if you can hear me and you can take us through about when is the crucial petition regarding the Udaipur files slated to come up in the Supreme Court today?
Well, yes, there was actually also an objection filed by Maulana Arshad Madani, which is against the release of the Udaipur files. There were certain main objections. I'll take you through the main objections of the same. The point was the film's overall theme is vilifying the Muslim community. It is depicting them as inherently violent or deceitful. It also pointed out that how this movie is actually promoting a binary narrative, that is Muslim is bad, that non-Muslim is good. And then it also talks about various violations, legal violations of certification guidelines, like with the 55 CBSC cuts, which was earlier suggested by the CBSC, and then there were 6 minor cuts, which were suggested by the government, the committee, the screening committee. Now, the film still, according to the objections which was raised, the film still violates 5B of the Cinematograph Act. This section basically deals with how if a movie promotes communal disharmony, if it disrupts public order, these are the points which is banned under Section 5B. So this objection is talking that the film still violates Section 5B of the Cinematograph Act and also 1991 guidelines. The 1991 guidelines, a quick recap, is this: these guidelines also bars any kind of movie which brings any kind of communal problems, communal causes, communal disharmony and all. The third point is, in the objections, they have pointed out the producers' past actions, the producers' Amit Jani, the producer of the movie Udaipur Files, they pointed out its past actions and the bias. They've said that Amit Jani has a history of communal and inflammatory conduct, like hate threats and all. They also point out that in an ANI interview, he linked Muslims with supporters of murderers. So they said that this, in turn, is exposing the film's malified communal intent. So they also pointed out about the key scenes which were cited as very problematic about, there were certain scenes shown as Muslims were calling for sacrifice of Hindu leaders, or there were repeated references to Pakistan. And they also point out that how every Muslim character in the movie is portrayed negatively while non-Muslims is shown virtuously. So these are the kind of that this person is petition is they are raising and saying that the court should never let the movie see the light of the day. They've also pointed out that even after the 6 cuts which were appointed by the committee, the screening committee, who heard both the parties regarding releasing of the movie, they were just cosmetic cuts. They did not change the narrative of the movie. They did not change the actual problems of the movie. And they also said that the government committee did not consider the main point, the main problem that the petitioner had with it. So, yes, definitely we're looking forward to see what the Supreme Court is going to, what is going to be Supreme Court stands in all these matters. Back to you.
Thank you very much for getting a detailed note on that story. And with that, moving on to some other stories that we're tracking. Now, after Jagdeep Thankar had relinquished his post of the Vice President, the question remained over who is going to be the next Vice President of India. We learned that the JDU Rajya Sabha MP Ramnath Thakur has met the BJP President JP Nadda. Sources are saying that it is Nitish Kumar that has pushed his name for the post of the Vice President. So is it going to be Nitish Kumar after Jagdeep Thankar is the big question. Remember, in a very mysterious exit, it was just 2 days back when Jagdeep Thankar had put his resignation at around 9:25 p.m. to the President of India, saying that he wants to resign on the basis of his health. However, there were speculations and speculation that grew over his mysterious exit and his sudden exit, many of them saying that it could be because he was turning into a Congress magnet, because of which he was told to resign from his post. Joining me on the broadcast is Prakash, my colleague from Patna. Prakash, what are the possibilities of Nitish Kumar becoming the Vice President of India?
Given the political situation as of now, and given the situation that Nitish Kumar's fragile health is concerned, I don't see any possibility of Nitish Kumar becoming the next Vice President. Just as a matter of fact that it's not just a ceremonial post like the President of India you have to sign, but it is a post where you have to address businesses in the house, specifically the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is an important house where a lot of businesses are concerned, and you have to take care of the house, the dealings of the house, the proceedings of the house. And given the mental framework as well as the health condition of Nitish Kumar, as of now, I don't see any possibility. There can only be possibility for the time being, like if Nitish Kumar is, if at all made the Vice President for 2-3 months, and then there would be a graceful exit. I wonder what kind of ceremonial exit or graceful exit the BJP is planning for him, because day in and day out, I have covered Nitish Kumar for a long time, and I don't see the same mental framework which he was 5 years ago or maybe 20 years ago, because I've seen him as a mercurial speaker, a brilliant orator, which is lacking. Yesterday's speech also, there's no sync with what he speaks and what he feels. So I rule out that possibility. Even maybe Ramnath Thakur can be one of the candidates, because for the Bihar Vidhan Sabha elections, he's the son of Bharat Ratna Karpuri Thakur, who is seen as the leader of the EBC vote bank, and that is how it can pan out. But I feel that still the BJP would want its man at the helm of affair in the Rajya Sabha to conduct the business and the proceedings of the House in a smooth way, because the kind of embarrassment Jagdeep Dhankar has given them, it looks a distant possibility that someone from outside can be made the Vice President of India, because it is not just the Vice President, but also the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and
Right,
which
Prakash.
conducts a lot of businesses and proceedings in the
Absolutely.
House.
Absolutely. Prakash, thank you very much for getting us those details, the inside scoop on whether Nitish would be the next Vice President or not. It's time for us, on that note, to slip into a very short break. But after the break, we're getting you the details of the biggest digital crackdown on online scams in Cambodia. Also coming up after the break is the details about the betting scam case, where the Enforcement Directorate has now issued fresh summons to actor Vijay Deverakonda. Don't go anywhere. Republic is live and breaking.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
All right, we begin with this breaking news that's just coming in, and this is about the Enforcement Directorate heat on Anil Ambani, where the Reliance Infrastructure has now issued a statement, and it's a detailed statement that says, and I quote, Reliance Infrastructure Limited wishes to clarify regarding the media reports by recent action by the enforcement agency. The said actions have absolutely no impact on the business operations, financial performance, shareholders, employees or any other stakeholders of the Reliance Infrastructure. The media reports appear to pertain to allegations concerning transactions of Reliance Communication Limited, RCOM, or Reliance Home Finance Limited, the RHFL, which are over 10 years old. This is the latest and the first statement that the Reliance Industries, the Reliance Power has issued, and this comes just hours after we got that breaking news where we learned that the Enforcement Directorate has raided residences and business entities of the business tycoon Anil Ambani. Pranav is joining us on the phone line on that note. Pranav, take us through the detailed statement that the Reliance Group has issued.
Well, Tanisha, actually, in fact, all the Anil Ambani Group companies, in fact, most of the Anil Ambani Group companies that have been listed on BSE, on the stock exchanges, have issued a statement distancing themselves from the ongoing action by the Enforcement Directorate. And this actually comes after most of the stocks of these companies, that is, Arcom, Power, actually hit a lower circuit on the stock exchanges today. So the stock has taken a dip because of the ED action today, and it's only after that that the statement has been issued.
Right, Pranav, thank you for getting those details. Shravan joins me from the newsroom on that. Shravan, what is this case all about? What is it pertaining to, and how far has the probe reached?
We can just put out the breaking news now coming in. We're getting in more details of the investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. So the Anil Ambani group, multiple companies that have basically come under the scanner. We are now given to understand a 14,000 crore rupees loan has come under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. There is a direct allegation that has been leveled by the Enforcement Directorate against Anil Ambani's company with regards to defrauding the Canara Bank of about 1,050 crore rupees. Now, these are two other additional information that we are getting in right now. As we speak, 35 locations where these searches are being carried out. 50 companies are already under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. This perhaps is the biggest crackdown that you're essentially looking at as far as companies of Anil Ambani is concerned. The preliminary investigation was carried out by the Central Bureau of Investigation. The FIR was first registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. The SEBI has also provided further information to the Enforcement Directorate, providing details about how one particular bank has been completely defrauded, and the fact that there was a nexus that was going on between the Anil Ambani companies and Yes Bank officials. So much so, they are making a direct allegation that Yes Bank officials were bribed by Anil Ambani's companies for procuring these loans, which we are given to understand has been siphoned off. Not just that, the Enforcement Directorate is also indicating the fact that there are multiple shell companies through which the money has also been diverted. These are exclusive details that have been obtained by Republic TV from top sources within the Enforcement Directorate about the crackdown that we are essentially looking at right now.
Right, Shravan, thank you very much for getting us those details. We're keeping a very close watch on that top story. But for now, it's time for us to quickly slip into a very short break. Coming up after the break are more details on how an acquittal of the 2006 Mumbai blast convicts have been stayed, but the convicts still remain free as there has been no rearrest that has been ordered.
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Republic TV with me, Akanksha Khajuria. Get up for all things AI, the breakthroughs, the impact, and what's next for the country India. Join us tomorrow, July 25th, for the flagship Republic AI Pre-Summit from the Republic Media Network headquarters. We bring together the country's top innovators, policymakers, tech giants as they decode India's AI leap. It's perfect build-up to the Bega Republic AI Summit. And here is where we begin. In fact, let's cut live to the Lok Sabha proceedings
Stable yacht 377. Item number 5, Goa Rajya Sabha Nirvachan Kshetra अनुसूचित जनजाति प्रतिनिधित्व का पुनः समायोजन विधेयक 2024।
लेना नहीं बोलो, लेने दीजिए।
सभापति जी, मैं आप देखिए अनुरोध करता हूँ सदस्यों कि ये कल भी ये बिल आया था, एक मिनट ये री-एडजस्टमेंट ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब इन असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज ऑफ द स्टेट ऑफ गोवा बिल 2024 है ये, तो ये चर्चा में ऑलरेडी है। मैं चाहता हूँ कि ये एसटी के हितों से संबंधित बिल है। गोवा विधानसभा में एसटी को रिप्रेजेंटेशन मिले, इसके लिए अपोजिशन साथ नहीं दे रहा है, हल्ला कर रहा है। तो इसका मतलब एसटी के हित में भी ये बात नहीं करना चाहते। अनुसूचित जनजाति के हित में इनको बात करनी चाहिए। इतना महत्वपूर्ण बिल पेंडिंग है, लगा हुआ, मैं खड़ा हूँ, इनको बात करनी चाहिए, चर्चा में भाग लेना चाहिए। एसटी के हितों का भी ये ध्यान नहीं रख रहे हैं। जी सर, एसटी के हितों का भी ये ध्यान नहीं रख रहे हैं। सभापति जी, मैं आपके माध्यम से ये कहना चाहता हूँ, इतना महत्वपूर्ण ये विधेयक है, गोवा विधानसभा में पहली बार एसटी का रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो, इसके लिए बिल है। जी सर, आप बैठिएगा। मैं अनुरोध करता हूँ कि चर्चा में भाग लें।
जी सर। सदस्यों, कल भी जो है गोवा के एसटी बिल के लिए गोवा के एसटी बिल के लिए कल भी जो है अनुसूचित जाति के बारे में चर्चा करने के लिए कल भी गोवा का बिल लिया गया था, लेकिन आपने इस बिल पे चर्चा के लिए कोई आगे बढ़ने नहीं दिया। ये बहुत गलत बात है। ये देखिए, आप अभी सदन और सभा के गरिमा और मर्यादा को रखते हुए ये पंक्ति को आप हटा दीजिए। जब तक ये तख्त आएगा, जब तक आप तख्त दिखाएंगे, सभा नहीं चलेगी। सभा के विरुद्ध में है, तख्त ऐसे दिखाना सभा के विरुद्ध में है। तब तक आप ऐसे तख्त दिखाते जाएंगे, सभा नहीं चलेगी।
Now shifting our focus, there on the screen you can see those are the visuals coming in from Thailand, where actor Darshan, who's currently out on bail, can be seen enjoying. Remember, he was granted bail by the court quite recently. Karnataka High Court had granted him bail, and on his bail you can see that he's clearly enjoying his bail there in Thailand is what we are learning. Those are the photos of actor Darshan. That clearly shows him enjoying. There's a photo shoot that is happening in Thailand that we can see. In fact, as far as his hearing is concerned, it took place in Supreme Court today against the bail that has been granted to him by the Karnataka High Court, and the Supreme Court also made some scathing remarks on his bail as well. But there on the screen you can see that is actor Darshan, and he's in fact shooting for a film in Thailand. They're enjoying his bail that has been granted to him by the Karnataka High Court quite recently. In fact, this is as far as the bail that was granted to actor Darshan in this murder case that he's accused of. Darshan, along with 13 others, they were charged with murder of Goswami, who was kidnapped, tortured and murdered by his accomplices after he apparently sent obscene message to Pavitra Gowda, friend of Darshan. Her body was found in stormwater drain on June 9th. After that, he was also granted bail, and there you can see on the screen, he's completely enjoying there in Thailand and shooting. Let me go across to my colleague Deepak, who joins us from the newsroom. Deepak, we are showing the viewers the visuals of actor Darshan enjoying. On the day, the Supreme Court made some scathing remark as to why he was granted bail by the Karnataka High Court. Give us more details about this video.
That's right, Akanksha. Now, even as the legal cloud continues to hover above his case and also above his fate as far as his jail stay is concerned, Darshan here, you can see clearly chasing sunsets in Thailand. And this is clear mockery of the justice system because he was given bail on medical grounds. He said he has to get a surgery done to his back. There were problems in his spine. But here, clearly in this video that we are playing on our screens, it clearly shows that Darshan is enjoying his Thailand trip. And this is not the first time, Akanksha. Even while he was at jail, you could see how he had turned the jail premises into nothing but a resort. He was seen chilling with his inmates inside that particular jail as well. And after that particular photo surfaced, all the inmates who were seen with him were transferred to different jails across Karnataka. And now, even as he is continuing to fight his legal battle, look at what Darshan has gone out and done. 2 days back, this particular video surfaced online, and this is Darshan enjoying his ferry ride in Thailand even as his legal battle continues. So the questions that must be asked, was Darshan really seeking medical help? Was it really the legitimate grounds that he cited before the court for his bail? And also, as far as his passports are concerned, why hasn't the High Court seized his passport, or instructed those concerned with the case seize his passports? Because he is a murder accused. He is accused number 1 and accused number 2, Pavitra Gowda. All of them are named in the Goswami murder case with such a heinous crime, stranding him in the court even till this date. Why is he let out of the country? His passport must be seized, and that's a demand that the opposition must be asking as far as this case is concerned. But what we see on our screens is complete mockery of justice, because this is not why Darshan was granted bail in the first place.
Absolutely, Deepak, and it is very important to also mention here that his bail plea came up in the Supreme Court. In fact, he was granted bail by the Karnataka High Court, and that was challenged in the Supreme Court. And today, Supreme Court categorically mentioned that High Court made such a mistake. It also went on to say that, in fact, High Court was criticized for perverse exercise of judicial power. It was granted for the spinal surgery, as you also mentioned, Deepak, but there on the screen we can clearly see that he's enjoying the ferry ride there in Thailand.
Akanksha, now Darshan, he is implicated in the murder case. He is among the first 3 accused. Accused number 1, 2 and 3, Pavitra Gowda and Darshan, are the top faces in this particular murder case. And what we really have to understand is who let Darshan leave the country in the first place? Why wasn't his passport seized? And why didn't he personally appear even as his case is going on? Because the Supreme Court, his case has reached the Supreme Court, the topmost court of our country. And look at what Darshan is doing. Darshan is partying in Thailand. He's enjoying the ferry ride, chasing sunsets, having a very gala time, even as his case is being heard. So this clearly shows how serious Darshan is about his case, and he doesn't really care about what's happening because he has a battery of lawyers to take care of it. And what really needs to be understood here is when Darshan was caught for the first time in jail partying, turning that jail premises into a resort, and despite knowing about his checkered past, why did they let him leave the country? On what grounds was he allowed to leave the country? This is something that needs to be questioned and that needs to be brought before the court.
Absolutely, and he along with 13 others are charged with the murder allegations. Deepak, for better clarity of our viewers, take us through what the case is really about, and when he applied for the bail, what clearly he had stated in that petition.
That's right. Now, Akanksha, as far as the background of the case is concerned, it all started with those messages that Goswami sent to Pavitra Gowda. And after that, Darshan and his gang kidnapped Goswami from Chitradurga. They brought him to Bengaluru. They tortured him in a shed that belonged to Darshan's friends. And you could also see, we had videos of the kind of brutality that Renuka Swami was also subjected to. And ever since these videos also surfaced, and after that, Renuka Swami was also found dead in a ditch. And it was only after the onlookers spotted this particular body did the case come to light. But it's really shocking to see Darshan, who's implicated in such a big murder case, such a heinous crime, partying in Thailand right now.
Absolutely. And now look at the visuals. We are showing two visuals to our viewers. First is of Darshan enjoying the ferry ride. And this one that you can see on the screen is of him enjoying with his friends at a restaurant. It seems they are laughing, smiling. And this is, in fact, also that has come in from Thailand. So, Deepak, clearly it shows that on one hand, he's enjoying. On the other, he's telling the court that he has spinal issues. He wants to undergo surgery. Clearly a lie to the court as well.
That's right, Akanksha. That is exactly what the case is here. Because Renuka Swami, who was an innocent, he was indeed an ardent fan. And the reason why he texted, Pavitra Gowda, those kind of messages that we've seen on social media is because Pavitra Gowda was trying to break Darshan's family, and Renuka Swami, being an ardent fan of Darshan, sent out those messages to Pavitra Gowda, which were again, not permitted by the law. You can't make personal remarks against anybody, but a murder is not the solution for that, Akanksha. He could have taken the legal route. He could have done 100 different things, but what he did was he got his own fan murdered. And this is a very, very serious murder case that Darshan has been implicated in. It all started in 2024 on June 8th when Renuka Swami, who's a resident of Chitradurga, like I was mentioning, was kidnapped and tortured, allegedly beaten in a shed in Bengaluru. His corpse was found the very next day in a stormwater drain, and the autopsy revealed death due to shock, hemorrhage, severe blunt injuries, ruptured testicles and other grievous trauma as well. So Renuka Swami had reportedly sent these obscene messages, and what Darshan did later after coming across these messages was indeed brutal and shocking to say the least. And as far as the legal proceedings are concerned, October 2024, the Karnataka High Court granted bail, interim bail on medical grounds. In December 2024, the court granted regular bail to Darshan and Pavitra, lifting most restrictions, though travel was to be regulated. So this is something that the prosecutors, the public prosecutor must look into. And in July 2025, the Supreme Court has also raised concerns, stating that it is not convinced by the High Court's bail order, suggesting further judicial review likely. And they have also issued a 10-day deadline to submit their arguments in as far as granting bail for Darshan is concerned. And the big question is, why was his travel plans and was travel freedom not regulated? Because a criminal who's out on bail shouldn't be allowed to go to Thailand and have a holiday of a time. And look at him, just look at him on the left side of your screens. You can see innocent Renuka Swami there, brutally murdered, hacked to death, tortured, beaten, blunt injuries were seen, and he had suffered grievous injuries to his private parts as well. And on the other hand, you see Darshan having a gala time, partying with friends, turning jail into a resort, and his bail period into a vacation, period for himself. And clearly, this is nothing but mockery of justice. And High Court's, decision of granting bail has also been pulled up by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has questioned why wasn't his travel regulated. This is the question, Akanksha.
Absolutely. Darshan, along with 13 others, they were sent to prison. They were charged with murder of Renuka Swami. Just a while back, we were showing you visuals of the murder scene there. And she was kidnapped, tortured and murdered by the actor and, in fact, his kin as well. And these are the charges that have come to the fore as far as this case is concerned. The Supreme Court, in fact, Deepak also made some scathing remarks today, asking the High Court in fact, telling the High Court that it made a grave mistake while giving bail to him. Could you tell us and take us through what happened in this case in the Supreme Court today?
Well, Akanksha, let me take you through what happened in the Supreme Court today, because a bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and R. Madhavan expressed not at all convinced by the Karnataka High Court's bail order, stating it appeared the High Court was panting to release them, and the demand for justification from the defense has also been sought. The bench directed senior advocates to explain why Supreme Court should not reverse the bail, highlighting that the High Court's justification seemed inadequately reasoned. And now the focus is on witness evidence. The court also flagged concerns over reliance on 2 eyewitnesses and asked the defense to explain the weight of the statements recorded and post-bail behavior. This is also under scrutiny because the bench also questioned the state's counsel on Darshan's conduct after being granted bail, particularly on an incident where he has also allegedly shared a stage with a key prosecution witness, raising concerns about influencing the trial. And now, as far as today's judgment is concerned, it has been reserved. The Supreme Court has reserved its decision and is now weighing on 2 main issues: whether the state has sufficient evidence tied to the eyewitnesses' testimonies, and the second is that whether High Court misused its discretion, essentially issuing a bail order resembling an acquittal. Now, the sharp observations basically came from Justice Pardiwala. As he noted, the High Court's reasoning basically handed over a judgment of acquittal, which is not acceptable during bail proceedings. And what comes next? The final hearing is pending. The defense and prosecution have presented their arguments. The bench has also given a 10 days relief for Darshan, and if the Supreme Court sets aside the bail, Darshan could be ordered back into custody immediately. If not, the bail remains, but the Supreme Court added that judicial scrutiny on the trial space, witness protection and Darshan's conduct while out on bail will continue, Akanksha.
Absolutely. Now, we are showing you 3 visuals there on the screen. One is from inside the jail where he was clearly enjoying. Those are the visuals from 2024. You can see there holding a coffee mug in hand and smoking. The next is of Thailand where he's enjoying the ferry ride. And another one from Thailand where he's smiling, laughing around with his friends, having a gala time in Thailand. And not just that, he was also having a gala time in jail as well. And probe was ordered in that specific case as well. Let me go across to my colleague Smita, who joins us from Bengaluru. Smita, tell us about what do you know about the bail that was granted to Darshan so far, because we're learning that the Supreme Court has pulled up the Karnataka High Court as far as that bail plea is concerned. But there on the visuals, we are showing our viewers 3 visuals of Darshan enjoying in Thailand. Give us more details.
Darshan has taken permission from the lower court for his, shooting, which was scheduled in Thailand, the Devil movie, which was, long pending as he was in jail. So now, as he's out, under a condition bail, so he has taken previous permission from the court to move to foreign country. So with permission, along with his family, he's in Thailand right now. But we are also getting the information that after hearing what all argument have taken place in Supreme Court today, Darshan is all set to come back to Bangalore immediately. Probably tomorrow, Darshan will come back to Bangalore, though he had 3-4 days remaining. The permission which was granted for him to go to a foreign country was of total 15 days. Yet he is coming back, shortening his schedules. So now in the Supreme Court, there was a lengthy argument from the lawyers, even Darshan lawyer and Pavitra Gowda lawyer, and also the lawyer from advocate from government side also. The Supreme Court have heard all of them. Basically, the Supreme Court has expressed the concern about how can High Court, we can understand that a trial court can give bail like this, but how can some High Court give a decision in such heinous crime, granting a bail to a celebrity who, though knowing that person who died was his fan, knowing that Renuka Swami was Darshan fan, how can some person assault him or that assault lead to murder is the concern expressed by Supreme Court. Not only that, the Supreme Court has also questioned, the other accused pro-lawyers to give a written submission within 1 week span, and probably within 10 days, the Supreme Court is going to pass the verdict about whether the bail will continue or Darshan and the co-accused have to come back to the jail, the Parapanagrahara or the Bellary jail. while, the Supreme Court hearing Darshan's pro-lawyer asked many questions subsequently regarding the eyewitness and also their statement and also FSL report. Even though having such prominent evidence, how can somebody get easy bail in a murder case is the straight question asked by the Supreme Court. And also now, after hearing such heated argument in the Supreme Court, obviously the 17 accused prominently Pavitra Gowda and Darshan are under tension. And as I said earlier, Darshan is about to come back to Bangalore tomorrow probably, and now within 10 days it will be declared, the verdict may be declared, that whether the bail which was granted by the High Court will continue or Darshan have to see the jail walls and the bars again.
Absolutely. Scathing remarks by the Supreme Court today as well. But what are you learning from his team as far as his return from Thailand is concerned? As you pointed out that he may return in a few days. What happens after that? What is his team saying on this?
Well, regarding the cinema shooting, yet there is a certain portions which are pending, as it was long pending. He was shooting the Devil movie before all these things happened, Renuka Swami's murder, and went to jail. But now as he is out of the bail, probably after coming back to Bangalore, he might wait for the Supreme Court to give the verdict, final verdict regarding his bail application, which is questioned in the Supreme Court by the police pro lawyers. Or he may also continue the shooting in Bangalore. That is yet to be confirmed from the cinema team. But as of now, what we are, getting the information is that he was under pressure. Not only him, he went along with his family. Even Darshan's wife, Vijay Lakshmi, and his son are also along with him in Thailand. And all of the family members and his close friends and the crew, cinema crew, were under tense today, though they were in Thailand. Now, after hearing the Supreme Court's today's argument...
Now, remains to be seen what happens when Darshan returns from his trip to Thailand. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on this story. Now, we have another breaking news coming in. Massive Indian Air Force war drills are underway in Barmer and Jodhpur sector of Rajasthan, close to Pakistan border. The full spectrum exercise emphasizes night sortie, drone warfare and air defense integration. Pakistan has issued a reciprocal notum indicating heightened aerial activity along the border. So this is the input that we are getting as far as the exercise that is underway on the western border, and this exercise is being carried out by the Indian Air Force. Let me go across to my colleague Ishan, who has been tracking these details. Tell us more about this exercise that is underway on the western border as far as the Indian Air Force is concerned, Ishan.
The Indian Air Force is currently undergoing a 3-day exercise for suppression of enemy air defenses, destruction of enemy air defenses, anti-drone warfare, deep penetration strike warfare, etc. These have been, this is a massive exercise after Operation Sindoor. This is the first one after Operation Sindoor. Pakistan has been feeling wary of these exercises, as it has issued a reciprocal notam today, and has also, and if you remember correctly, it had recently conducted a failed test of its Shaheen missile, which was also in the Baluch sector. However, these exercises are not aimed at specifically at Pakistan, but at capacity building of the Indian Air Force, and Indian Air Force is doing a very good professional job in maintaining exercise. They had issued warnings and they have maintained all safety standards, international and national. These exercises are currently underway and will be concluding tomorrow.
Absolutely. These are the war drills that started yesterday and will be concluding tomorrow, is what we are learning. Thanks so much, Ishan, for all the updates on the story. Keep tracking those updates closely. Well, this is as far as the war drill along the western border is concerned. These massive exercises are being carried out by the Indian Air Force. It started yesterday and it will conclude tomorrow, and this is going on in the Barmer Jodhpur sector of Rajasthan, close to the Pakistan border. And this full spectrum exercise emphasizing night sorties, drone warfare, air defense integration as well. And now let's show you the top stories of the day in under 1 minute. Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad slammed the opposition protest in Parliament, saying that the opposition and especially the Congress party is not allowing the House to function. The Bharatiya Janata Party MP further said that the centre is ready for in-house discussion, but the opposition is running away from discussion. After Bihar, LOP Tejasvi Yadav called for boycotting the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections due to Election Commission's Bihar survey exercise. Union Minister Rajiv Ranjan Singh took a dig at Tejasvi, saying the statement means RJD leader has already accepted the defeat. The Enforcement Directorate has issued fresh notice to actor Vijay Deverakonda in the betting app scam case. The probe agency has asked him to appear on August 11th. Earlier, remember, the ED had issued a notice to him asking him to appear on August 6th. And with this, we're taking a very short break. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you details about the ED raids on Anil Ambani-linked properties in Mumbai. Supreme Court has stayed the Bombay High Court judgment on acquittal of 12 accused in the 2006 Mumbai train blast case. No rearrest will now be done. We'll get you updates on these two stories after this very short break. Stay with us.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Russian plane An-24 carrying 49 passengers crashed in Russia Far East Amur region, burning fuselage of the plane found. As per the sources, Nitish Kumar has pushed his name for the next Vice President of India. Major crackdown on digital arrest and online scams in Cambodia. Over 3,000 individuals involved in the online fraud arrested. Supreme Court has stayed Bombay High Court judgment on acquittal of 12 accused persons in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast. No rearrest to be done now. After ED heat on Anil Ambani, Reliance Infra issues first statement says no impact on business operations, financial performance. Supreme Court reserves order on actor Darshan in We have a breaking news coming in. Supreme Court has started hearing the Udaipur files case. Senior advocate Kapil Sibal has appeared for Jamaat-e-Ulama Hind president, and senior advocate Menika Goswami has appeared for the accused Mohammad Javed. In fact, senior advocate Gaurav Bhatia appears for the producer Johnny Firefox. Gaurav Bhatia, senior advocate for the movie makers, has said that the order of the Delhi High Court allowing the stay on Udaipur file. He also argued that the development of the petitioners complying with the order and participated in the order. So this is as far as the Supreme Court hearing in the Udaipur file case is concerned. Remember, the movie was to be released on July 11th, but now there is a stay on the movie. In fact, Jamaat-e-Ulama Hind has also moved the Supreme Court against that stay. Let me go across to my colleague Shamvi, who joins us live on the broadcast with more details. Shamvi, give us more details about the proceedings that are underway in Supreme Court right now.
Well, now as the proceeding has started, it has started on a note that earlier the petitioners have actually said that the committee, the government screening committee, which was formed, which heard both the parties about whether to release this movie or how many cuts needed to be made. Now the petitioners are actually saying that this committee was faulty. They're saying that in this government committee, there were some CBFC members were also part of the panel. Now, why is that a problem? Because CBFC has earlier given a certificate for the Udaipur Files movie to be released. Then later the petition was filed. So that is a problem. As Kapil Sibal has reiterated time and again that there were some CBFC members who were a part of the panel, which is again a conflict of interest. A. B. There were also members who were linked to BJP, which creates bias. And there were also some undisclosed affiliations with another political parties as well. So they said that this actually created a bias, and this did not give us a chance to have a neutralized version, a neutralized approach from the government committee. And Kapil Sibal also argued that the entire point of making a government panel, a government screening committee, was that both the parties are heard, both the parties are given an equal chance to put their matters across. But Kapil Sibal argued that this meant to be neutral government panel was not so neutral. They had CBFC members, they had members who were affiliated with BJP, and this was actually a CBFC extension. That is what. To which Justice Kant has responded that the appointment of the members in this government panel is not under challenge because they must have been nominated by the government. The members of the screening committee were nominated by the government, to which Sibal has retorted that that is exactly the issue. He has said that these people, the members of the screening committee, shouldn't have been nominated in the first place itself. They said that this has raised serious concerns about bias, about how CBFC members are advisors. They are not neutral adjudicators. So we'll see where this goes now.
Right, Aditya, we have more details coming in as far as the arguments are concerned. Justice Kant is saying that suppose a Tamil movie comes, they will require a member who knows that language. Sibal says we have to see what is this panel, whose part in the revision. They suggested some other cuts. Our basic objections were not dealt with. Kindly see my objections. What are the basic objections that Sibal is talking about?
The basic objection is that under Section 6, they argue that there must be a stay on whole of the movie. The movie in toto should be stayed in any or all the part in India. Now they raise the point that under Section 6, there should not have been an order recommending just mere cut. Now this is a difference of argument which has been raised in the petition of objection. Now in that petition, the challenger has argued that under Section 6, the argument should have been made regarding that if there is a petition challenging a movie, that whether the movie is complying by the guideline under the Section 6, the movie should have been stayed in toto or passed in toto. There should not have been a recommendation of a cut. Now, this is what the Supreme Court will decide it under Section. The government committee is employed, or whether they have the power to recommend cuts and not to put a stay on the movie in whole or pass the movie in whole. So basically, the argument is that the committee was not empowered by the law.
That's right, Aditya. Now there are intense arguments happening at the Supreme Court, and we'll have to wait and watch whether or not this movie will even see the light of the day. But thank you, Aditya and Shambhavi, for joining us on this broadcast. Now, moving on, viewers, after the Enforcement Directorate's heat on Anil Ambani, Reliance Infrastructure Limited and Reliance Power issues its first statements, and the statement says no impact on Reliance Infrastructure, its business operations, financial performance, shareholders, employees or any other stakeholder. However, in the stock market, shares of Reliance Infrastructure has dropped by almost 5%. Now, the Enforcement Directorate has its lens on the illegal loan transfers. Now, the company has issued the first statement, and the company has said that this will not impact its financial operations, its financial performance, business operations, its infrastructure. But the effect of this particular case has, however, reached the stock market, because as far as the latest information is concerned, the shares of Reliance Infrastructure has dropped by almost 5%. And to give us details and help us understand what this means, we have Pranav joining us live from the digital newsroom. Pranav, this case has indeed dented its stock, share prices, because the Reliance Infrastructure share prices have dropped by almost 5%, and that's huge. 5% is not, it might be a small number on paper, but as far as the stock market is concerned, it's really huge. Tell us about the implications.
Yeah, basically, when we are talking about a 5% drop, the shares of Reliance Infra and Reliance Power today dropped and hit a 5% low circuit. What this necessarily means is that there was so much sell-off after ED's 3,000 crore allegations that the BSE and the NSE temporarily halted trading. So when it's actually hit a 5% low circuit, that necessarily means that trading was halted. So it was a massive fall in these shares, after which the company has issued statements that Mr. Ambani is not on any of the board of directors of these companies, and that financial operations of these organizations will not be hampered.
Right, Pranav, stay on with us. We also have our senior editor Shravan Sen joining us live from the newsroom. Shravan, help us understand ED's case against Anil Ambani.
Well, in fact, the predicate offence is based on the FIR that was registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, where, remember, Reliance, Anil Ambani's companies have been under the scanner. Based on that, the Enforcement Directorate has filed an ECIR, which is an equivalent of an FIR that has been registered. Following the ECIR that was registered, raids have been carried out at multiple locations. In fact, roughly about 50 companies are now under the scanner, 35 locations where these searches are being carried out, and these searches are not just in Mumbai but also in the national capital. Now, as far as the charges that have been levelled against Anil Ambani and his companies, it is to do with loans that were provided by Yes Bank. You're looking at a period between 2017 and 2019 when his companies actually received about 3,000 crore rupees as loans. The Enforcement Directorate from the preliminary investigation has essentially indicated that these loans have been siphoned off. In fact, a direct allegation has been leveled that Anil Ambani's companies have siphoned it of the loan amount through various other shell companies that were basically floated. And not just that, there was also an exchange of a bribe with the Yes Bank officials. Now, it does not only end, it does not limit this entire investigation to this much, but we are now given to understand that there are two other loans that have basically come under the scanner. One is with regards to about 1,050 crore rupees loan that was provided by Canara Bank, and the other is roughly about 14,000 crore rupees loan that once again it turns out that Anil Ambani's companies have actually defrauded. In fact, SEBI has also now provided its findings to the Enforcement Directorate, where there is a clear mention of the fact that there is a huge spike in the loans that were allegedly received by Anil Ambani's companies. As of now, as my colleague Pranav was also pointing out, Reliance Group, in fact, Anil Ambani's companies have now basically responded. Reliance Infrastructure and Power has already responded by saying that it will have no direct impact as far as the financials are concerned. But having said that, I'm not very sure if Pranav is still there. If he is there, then we could perhaps just get a quick check with regards to the stock market, because it seems that it's got a direct impact as far as the stocks of Reliance Infrastructure is concerned.
Right, Shravan, before I get in a word from Pranav, let me also go across to my colleague Meenakshi joining us live from the Reliance Center. Meenakshi, help us understand what time the raid started and what's the situation now.
Yes, as we know, ED conducted search operation in 35 locations, 50 companies linked to Reliance Communication and promoter director Anil D. Ambani, as day after SBI claimed that these companies and Anil Ambani as fraud. Now, over the 35 location, 2 or 3 location is in Mumbai, and I am now outside of that Reliance Center. 2 hours ago, the 3 or 4 ED officials entered this Reliance Center, which is the main office of Reliance Communication in Mumbai, and they are searching now. Search operation is going on, as we got the information that. Before 2 hours ago, the security in charge came here and told the security to lock the main gate of Reliance Center, and security came and locked the main gate of Reliance Center. Now we are waiting outside for officials when they will come out and give an information as to or not, because now all ED officials and the companies workers are inside this Reliance Center, which is, as I told, situated in South Mumbai, and it's in Ballard Street, as we know, is 4th area, and is the main office of Reliance Communication. Back to studio, you can see that this is the Reliance Center, and it's a big office of Reliance, and the ED officials are inside in this Reliance Center. Back to studio.
Right, Meenakshi, thank you for getting us that quick update from Ground Zero. Pranav, coming back to you, 45 minutes for the stock markets to close today. What is happening as far as Reliance Infrastructure shares are concerned?
Well, Reliance Infrastructure and Reliance Power shares have been on a free fall. In fact, if you remember, on June 13, the State Bank of India had also said that Anil Ambani was a fraud under the RBI's fraud risk guidelines. So ever since this statement came, even a minister mentioned it in the parliament. This mention was made in the parliament also. So ever since the Anil Ambani group stocks have been falling, and today 5% low circuit, which necessarily means that trading was halted for some time, is yet another low in the recent past.
Well, these are pictures coming in live from the United Kingdom, where the Prime Minister is meeting his counterpart, Keir Starmer, in London. There you can see earlier today, the trade agreement was also discussed upon, and there were reliefs and also boosts across different sectors, be it youth, agriculture, marine sector, even some of the other sectors also saw a major boon from these talks that were held between the two nations. And UK and India together have put youth first because they've announced a lot of boost in service sector jobs. They've announced new roles in IT, finance, consulting, investment chances in the UK markets. And there's also innovation and digital trade where the youth first approach has been prioritized by Prime Minister Modi and Keir Starmer. But these are the pictures coming in from London where PM Modi is sharing some light moments with Keir Starmer. Okay, these are the pictures coming in from London where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meeting Keir Starmer, and this after some fruitful talks that were held across different sectors. And the Prime Minister is on a two-nation visit, and United Kingdom was his first stop, and the bilateral ties are also under focus because India and UK are also eyeing a free trade, and they've also signed a $6 billion trade deal. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi signed a free trade deal expected, and he's also expected to lead a multi-billion pound boost in exports as well. UK cars and other imports will also be very cheaper to the export, and also Indian textiles and jewelry will be cheaper to export to the United Kingdom under the agreement, which also commits to a new India-UK plan to tackle illegal migration as well. But what we need to understand is that this means that the staff from Indian companies, as far as the migration issues are concerned, the staff from Indian companies who are temporarily transferred to the UK and staff from UK firms who are temporarily working in India will only pay social security contributions in their home country rather than in both places. When the deal was agreed in May, the Indian government called it an unprecedented achievement, and further talks are expected on this front as well. We also have Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, we have pictures of Keir Starmer and PM Modi sharing some light moments in London. Help us understand this bonhomie.
Well, absolutely. So this is a one-on-one that's happening between the two leaders. Deepak, remember, it's a big day for both the sides that after 3+ years of long negotiations and hard-fought battles, so to say, between the respective negotiation teams, the trade deal has finally, the moment has arrived when the trade deal is being signed. Of course, it was finalized in the month of May when the two leaders had made the announcement jointly over a phone call or a video call. And now, about 15 minutes of a personal tie-to-tie between the two leaders, following which there would be press statements where the announcements are going to be made, essentially about the trade deal, and then there would be delegation-level talks. So it's not like that the talks have happened and then the announcement is being made, because the deal is already decided. And so the first announcement would happen after this one-on-one meeting, restricted format meeting between the two leaders, and then the trade deal. It's been in the making for a while, and it's a big signaling coming in from both the sides. Remember, for the United Kingdom, this is the biggest trade deal that they are signing after their exit from the European Union, Brexit as it was called. And despite the fact that they have recently signed a trade deal with the United States, one with India is being built as the biggest one. And that gives you an idea of the kind of importance business trade-wise India has gained of late, with India becoming the 4th largest economy in the last 1.5 years. We have gone past both the United Kingdom and Germany in terms of our size of our economy, and that's getting reflected in the kind of rush we are seeing from all these economies to sign and get into trade arrangements with India. Remember, just about 10 or 11 years back, we are part of the Fragile Five by 2012, 2014. And now in a situation where India has signed about 15, this is the 15th trade deal that India has signed, which is being announced today. And of course, it kicks in over a period of next few months, because the respective parliaments would need to ratify the free trade agreement between India and the United Kingdom. But the nuts and bolts, whatever has been shared, the details that we have, it gives an idea of the kind of confident negotiation that happened or went into the signing of the trade agreement. So be it in terms of making sure that despite all the opening up of the markets that come with a free trade agreement, our agriculture and dairy sectors still remain protected. The fact that India made it a point to impress the British side that while trade on goods and services is fantastic and all the tariff barriers being knocked down as part of the agreement is great. The fact of the matter is that there has to be free flow of human capital also. So there are a lot of concessions, we are told, on the freedom of people front in terms of exchange of people, in terms of free movement of talent. And I think that's going to be a very important aspect of this trade deal. So if you look at the basics that we know already, Deepak, while in the case of India, the British are going to get about 99% plus goods in the tariff-free zero-duty category. In the case of India, it would be about 99%. And 26 areas, sectors, and it includes both goods and services. And this is one relationship with bilateral trade at around $55 billion, of which India has a trade surplus of $10 billion, which means it's a relationship where there is a lot of scope to give and take. It's a relationship where, like in the case of United States, and in fact, there is more services trade than goods trade. So while in the case of India, about 44%, and this is also about, India, a confident India negotiating with the rest of the world. So tremendous amount of signaling there in these pictures of Prime Minister traveling to London and for the signing of this deal. I think this is going to be a message to the European Union, to the Americans, to President Trump, that while you have your own positions on tariff, India is a confident India, the present day India is a very confident India, and that we are willing to, go halfway mark and, travel the half mile, if you are traveling the half mile, and meet you midway. And in a spirit of give and take, in a spirit of adjustment, we are going to sign, or we are ready to sign the deal. As I mentioned, Deepak, this is the 15th trade deal India is signing in the last 4 or 5 years, and most of them have turned beneficial. In fact, as a build-up to these trade deal signing spree, the Modi government really built up on its muscle in terms of strengthening India's manufacturing sector, strengthening our own industries so that they can tackle competition from the world. In fact, it is the belief of the government that Indian consumers also should get good quality products, and so these trade deals are a move in that direction. So I think good pictures coming in there. In a while, there would be an announcement by the two leaders, and then, of course, the delegation level talks.
Right, Abhishek. We also have Asmita joining us live from London. Asmita, it's the 15th. It's actually the manner that they have chosen. It's a retreat of Keir Starmer that they have chosen as the meeting point. Tell us about this particular location. Why not in Downing Street and here in this Chequers Fort? And also about what is expected as far as the bilateral talks are concerned. Well, Asmita, I guess your mic is muted. If you could unmute yourself and help us understand the bilateral talks that are set to take place.
Right, yes. So the bilateral talks, they have come out very successfully. As you can see that the people in UK, especially the Indians in UK, they are pretty much satisfied with these talks. When we talk about the FTA agreement, well, that has come out pretty successfully as well. So you see that there was educational and there were other there were many British Indians who were supporting this particular FTA, which includes other aspects as well, like business and education. So I will quickly let you know the key takeaways that we have. That is, there were warm receptions that were held for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is indeed a landmark India-UK free trade agreement. So 99% of the Indian exports to the UK now, they are tariff-free. So 90% of the UK exports to India, tariff reductions. So, like Scotch whiskey, the tariffs have dropped.
That's
down
right,
from
Asmita. Thank you for joining us with those details. It's the 16th century manner that Keir Starmer has chosen to meet Prime Minister and hold strategic talks. It's a big message being sent out from the United Kingdom. We'll get you all the latest from London after a short break. Stay tuned.
I'm looking forward to being part of the Republic AI Pre-Summit on July 25th. We will be diving into the latest breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, its growing impact across different sectors, and what the future holds for India. It's a powerful lead-up to the Mega AI Summit. I am delighted to be part of this important conversation. See you there.
बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good afternoon, viewers. It's 3 p.m. and you're watching Republic TV. Gear up for all things AI, the breakthroughs, the impact, and what's next for India. Join us tomorrow, July 25th, for the flagship Republic AI Pre-Summit from the Republic Media Network headquarters. We bring together the country's top innovators, policymakers, and tech giants as they decode India's AI leap it's the perfect build-up to the Mega Republic AI Summit, and it all begins right here. Let's get started with the headlines. Supreme Court stays Bombay High Court judgment on acquittal of 12 accused in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast. No rearrest to be done. After ED heat on Anil Ambani Reliance infrastructure issues, first statement says no impact on business operations, financial performance. Biggest political scoop since Dhankar's exit. Sources say Nitish Kumar has pushed his name for the next vice president. Supreme Court reserves order on actor Darshan in fan murder case. However, Darshan seen enjoying his vacation in Thailand from 2 days ago. Russian plane An-24 carrying 49 passenger crashes in Russia's Far East Amur region, burning fuselage of the plane found. All eyes on India-UK landmark free trade agreement deal. Starmer hails FTA deal with India, calls it major win for Britain. First up, viewers, India and the United Kingdom are all set to sign a free trade agreement today. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is hosting his Indian counterpart PM Modi in London, and the two will hold discussions on wide-ranging topics. The signing of the FTA is a key part of Prime Minister Modi's UK visit. New Delhi and London concluded talks in May to reach a bilateral free trade agreement, discussions for which began in January 2022. And these are the pictures that we have accessed, and it's coming live from Chequers, which is the official country residence of British Prime Minister. It is located about 50 kilometers northwest of London. It's a 16th century manor gifted to United Kingdom government in 1917 by Sir Arthur Lee. And this is the place that is used to host state guests, confidential discussions and high-level strategy meetings away from the usual Downing Street residence. And this particular meeting at Chequers signals personal warmth and priority. Hosting a leader at Chequers reflects personal rapport and also strategic intent. It's more than just protocol, viewers. It shows the United Kingdom's deep interest in nurturing the India-UK relationship. And it's also removed from London's glare. It's where leaders have deeper, uninterrupted conversations. Deals are struck, and these deals are struck in Chequers. In fact, Asmita is also joining us. Asmita, what can we expect in the FTA?
Well, right. So the key takeaways that we know from the free trade agreement that has been a landmark, right? It is a landmark India-UK free trade agreement that has taken on this journey, this trip of Narendra Modi. So you see that 99% of the Indian exports to the UK are now tariff-free. So 90% of UK exports to India are granted tariff reductions. And tariffs on alcohol like Scotch whisky has dropped down from 150% to 75% immediately, down to 40% over the 10 years. And Indian tariffs on UK cars have also reduced to 10% under a quota. Now, in other news, we know that the labor, education, professional mobility, it includes work visa concessions, recognition of qualifications and exemption from national insurance contributions, which are pretty stringent in the US, but now UK, but now they will be slightly less stringent for India as we mark this significant FTA. And deals on access to UK procurement markets, but agricultural services and carbon tax mechanisms, they remain excluded. So we also know that in strategic and diplomatic cooperation, so that has strengthened the partnership across defense, climate and security, and it has laid a ground network towards a deeper strategic partnership. And it has also catalyzed, discussions on crime and extradition of certain big personalities, and also it has provided a chance to address the ongoing concerns such as the detention of British Sikh activists. Now, we also know that the particular meeting has been taking place in Chequers and not 10 Downing Street, because you see that Chequers is the UK Prime Minister's official country retreat, and it has got a historical significance as well for important bilateral meetings and private diplomacy. So hosting a foreign leader like Prime Minister Narendra Modi is considered a sign of special respect and deepening further ties. So, we know that Chequers, it is located in Buckinghamshire, and, is a more private, it has a more private setting than central London's 10 Downing Street, allowing like more in-depth one-on-one talks for more extended hours, and there are no urban distractions. So, this was not a full ceremonial state visit, as we know, but Chequers has served as a semi-ceremonial diplomatic gesture, definitely. So this is definitely one of the key takeaways that we know, that PM Keir Starmer's, this is his personal engagement with Prime Minister Narendra Modi without invoking full royal protocol, which is done at the Buckingham Palace during state visits, however. But this comes with the FTA negotiation climaxes as well, which coincides with the signing of the historic India-UK Free Trade Agreement. And it is indeed a landmark moment which warrants for a grander backdrop than the usual 10 Downing conference room. Over to you.
Also, Asmita, help us understand the discussions on illegal migration as well. This is one of the key issues that will be discussed by Keir Starmer and PM Modi. Help us read between the lines.
Could you, I couldn't hear you, Deepak, if you could
Asmita, I was talking about the illegal migration issue, which will also be discussed by both the leaders. Help us understand what the talks could probably revolve around and what we can expect at the end of it.
Well, yes, the illegal immigration definitely is one of the key issues that UK faces from many of these countries. But when it comes to India, so India, and in this particular meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, definitely we get to know that, as I told you already, that there have been easier, they are going easier on the stringent rules. So about the illegal immigrants, where we see that needs to be lessened, and India is going to play a major role in it. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while as we go around these talks, we get to know that illegal immigrants from India, they are going to be lessened, and laws are going to be more stricter and stringent on this. However, this will not affect on the upcoming visa policies, and it will also not affect on the non-stringent new laws on, the new rules that PM Modi is going to talk about to UK PM Keir Starmer about when it comes to work visas or educational visas. So they are going to be more easier on that when it comes to Indians. So this is again one of the key takeaways that we know from this meeting between PM Keir Starmer and PM Modi.
Right, Asmita, thank you for bringing us those details. In just a short while from now, India-UK will be signing the FTA. All eyes will be on the outcome of this particular bilateral engagement. Now let's move on to Bengaluru, viewers, where a parent of the victim of the stampede that killed 11 people near the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium on 4th of June has filed a complaint in the Commercial Street Police Station today regarding the theft of gold ornaments that were on the body of the victim when she was taken inside the post-mortem section for autopsy. The family of the 13-year-old Divyanshi, who tragically lost her life in the stampede at Chinnaswamy Stadium on June 4th, is now grappling with another heartbreak. Her grieving parents have alleged that the ornaments worn by the child were stolen during the post-mortem procedure. This is a big charge coming in from the parent of one of the victims of the stampede that claimed the lives of at least a dozen people, a dozen fans who are waiting eagerly to get a glimpse of their favorite team. But right now, what we understand, it's just heartbreak and no justice in sight for the family members. But what's even more shocking is the fact that the parents have claimed that there has been theft of the ornaments that were there and that were worn by the victim. And she claims that the ornaments were stolen during autopsy. This is the big breaking news that we are tracking at the moment. The parents of Divyanshi, the 13-year-old child who lost her life outside the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, has claimed that the ornaments, the jewelry worn by her child on that fateful day went missing during the autopsy. Well, the parents claim it was during the postmortem procedure that the jewels that were worn by her child were stolen, and this is a serious allegation made by the parents of the victim, and a complaint has been filed with respect to this in the Commercial Street Police Station, which is in the jurisdiction of the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, and the Commercial Street Police Station is also very, very close to the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, and that's why the complaint has been filed there. It falls under its jurisdiction. A case of theft has been filed against the hospital authorities, claiming that the jewelry went missing during autopsy. This is the latest flashpoint as far as the Stampede case is concerned, the Bengaluru Stampede case, where 11 people lost their lives on June 4th, a day after RCB's historic victory, and they were there in Bengaluru for the victory parade, the celebrations, and it was during the unannounced victory celebrations that 11 individuals lost their lives, and one of them was Divyanshi. In a major development in the Agra conversion case, Rahman Qureshi, recently arrested from Agra, has made several startling revelations. He ran a YouTube channel named Sana, where he uploaded videos of people who had allegedly been converted. He also confessed to receiving foreign funding and substantial monthly earnings running into lakhs of rupees through his channel, as well as payments in cryptocurrency. Authorities are now working to access his digital wallet as part of the ongoing investigations. A big revelation in the Agra conversion racket. And now they've revealed that the YouTube channel that was being operated by Rahman had been earning a lot of money, and now the lens is on the digital wallets of the accused. And this is a major development. Rahman Qureshi, who was recently arrested from Agra, has made some startling revelations. He has claimed that he shot videos of conversion, uploaded them on YouTube, and he earned money from these videos that were uploaded. And he has also revealed many secrets. Rahman Qureshi used to get money in cryptocurrency. And he also used to run a YouTube channel named Sana, which we just told you about. And Rahman has low educational qualifications. He has only studied till 12th. Rahman knows 12 computer languages. Rahman Qureshi used to upload videos of converted people on his YouTube channel. And he also has confessed before the investigating officials that he used to get funds from abroad, similar to the Changur Baba conversion model. The police is now trying to access his digital wallet because Rahman used to deal in cryptocurrency, and he used to get up to several lakhs of rupees per month from the YouTube channel, on which he was uploading videos of conversion of converted individuals. And Rahman is now an important character in this conversion racket. He is said to be a very, very close aide of Abdul Rahman, the mastermind. Now moving on, viewers, to more updates coming in as far as Thailand-Cambodia border clash is concerned. At least 9 Thai civilians were killed and over 14 have suffered injuries in a series of Cambodian rocket attacks along the Thai-Cambodia border. Thailand launched airstrikes on Cambodian military targets as Cambodia fired rockets and artillery, killing a civilian in a dramatic escalation of a long-running border face-off between Thailand and Cambodia. And the two neighbors are now locked in a bitter spat over an area known as Emerald Triangle, where the borders of both countries and Laos meet, and it is also home to several ancient temples. And the fight is over this particular region. We have more breaking news coming in, viewers. It's a historic development that we're tracking. India and UK have finally signed the free trade agreement. And in just a short while from now, both the leaders will be addressing to help us understand what is encapsulated in this particular free trade agreement. We have Abhishek Kapoor also joining us. Abhishek, India and UK have signed the historic trade deal, and this amidst negotiations with the United States as well. How important is this moment for India?
Significant moment in India's global trade positioning, Deepak, and the fact that we have this is the 15th trade agreement signed in the recent few years, and this is a big one coming in from the United Kingdom. UK alone accounts for $55 billion worth of bilateral trade. It's a trade surplus relationship which is in India's favor. Very few of the bilateral trade relationships which are in India's favor, with a $10 billion per annum trade surplus and services trade more than the goods trade. This trade deal is going to open up our markets for the British goods and services, and of course open up British market for our goods and services, minus of course dairy and agriculture, which remains a protected area still. And that's to the credit of the government that they have negotiated a hard bargain on while opening up many of these sectors, but not getting into dairy and agriculture, which is a sensitive issue. Given the fact that 55% of our population still is dependent on agriculture, though of course agriculture constitutes now about 15% only of our GDP. This trade deal is going to add another $34 billion per annum to India-UK trade by about another decade. To begin with, about $6 billion. It is going to add 0.6% to the UK GDP, and that gives you an idea of the kind of relevance, salience, and importance India has gained in terms of its economic muscle. In fact, in the last 1 year alone, we have pushed United Kingdom and Germany to become the fourth largest global economy, and that really gets reflected in the number of countries that are queuing up to sign a trade deal. This is also a significant signaling, Deepak, to the rest of the world, and specifically the United States, that India is willing to go more than halfway house, meet you more than halfway house, and negotiate as equal partner in trade, and to agree for mutually beneficial tariff structures, and is open to the idea of having our markets be accessed, and it's a huge market, and everyone in the world wants a pie of Indian market, so why not? But it has to be a quid pro quo. It has to be an equal partners engagement, and that's what I think the messaging is, with Prime Minister traveling to London, and from right there from the West, and in many ways the global financial capital that London is, to be making a statement of sorts of India's confidence, essentially, in having these hard-boiled negotiations, and they go on for years together. We have had already 5 or 6 rounds with the United States. In the case of United Kingdom, 3+ years. Things began in January of 2022 when Boris Johnson was the Prime Minister, and then since then Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, and now Keir Starmer, and the deal getting signed has been signed, and we are looking up to a joint statement by the two leaders any moment now. And so while the nitty-gritties of the deal are going to kick in only about a few months from now, maybe 8 or 10 months, because remember, we are two good, vibrant, strong democracies. So obviously, when the government sign these kind of agreements, they have to be ratified by respective parliaments. So in the case of India, our parliament; in the case of United Kingdom, their parliament, they would need to ratify this trade deal, and then of course it kicks in. So these aspects taken together, the fact that just a decade or so ago, nobody wanted to have a trade deal with India, and at least as equal partners, and we were part of the Fragile Five, to the time when now we are confidently signing one trade deal after another. Remember, as a build-up to this, we have had a trade deal with EFTA, which is a small grouping within Europe, not part of the European Union, which includes Switzerland and Norway and Liechtenstein and the Netherlands. And then we have signed a separate trade deal with Australia. We have signed a separate trade deal with the UAE. And all these trade deals are already giving momentum to India's goods and services trade worldwide, and it is expected that, like in the case of earlier trade deals, this is also going to bring in more resilience to Indian economy, bring in more openness to our markets, make consumers in India benefit from better products and more competition, and it's going to ultimately strengthen our own industrial muscle. Some people have raised concerns about Make in India, because if goods get cheaper and it's cheaper to import, then why would these corporations have incentives to really come set up shop in India? So, for example, in the case of automobile sector, we have made a big concession in this India-UK FTA from about 100% duties for import of cars to progressively reduce them to just 10%. So obviously, if cheaper imports are coming in of those fancy British cars, why would those British corporations want to set up manufacturing shop floor in India? That's a question that has been raised, and hopefully we would have some answers when the details of the trade deal come out. But essentially what we are seeing is that with the signing of this agreement, this is a lot of symbolism. There is a lot of messaging. There is a lot of signaling that is coming in from India's side, and for the United Kingdom to really acknowledge that despite having signed a trade deal with the United States just last month, and there was a photo of in Canada, I believe, on the sidelines of the G7 summit where President Trump and Keir Starmer of the UK showed up that a mini deal or part of the larger deal that the two sides are negotiating. For Keir Starmer to say that this is the biggest trade agreement that the United Kingdom has signed or is signing after coming out of the European Union, which was a few years ago, after Brexit. And so obviously, this gives you an idea of the kind of importance that's getting attached to Indian market, Indian economy, the size of the Indian market, and that's getting reflected in the kind of trade deal that has got signed. We are looking forward, as I said, Deepak, for the joint statement there, and to listen to the two leaders as to the vision that has guided the two sides to sign this agreement despite those protracted negotiations. The nitty-gritties, of course, we have put on air by way of graphics as to the areas where we are going to benefit, the areas where the British are going to benefit. And these are the times of tariff wars, and unleashed in good measure by President Trump of the United States. And while negotiating those choppy waters, for India to be signing these kind of agreements sends a message of stability, sends a message of bringing calm to the markets. And I think in that sense, the world would be watching those pictures coming in from London in a while from now when the two leaders make that joint address.
That's right, Abhishek. We also have Asmita and Aman joining us live from London. Let me go across to Asmita first. Asmita, the FTA has been signed by India and the United Kingdom. What are the sectors that are clear winners in this particular free trade agreement?
Right. So, you know that on July 24, 2025, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, they, in a high-level bilateral engagement, they have concluded the landmark free trade agreement. So let me take you through some of the key features again, as there have been tariff reductions and mostly the most important, the mobility and labor part, where there has been easier visa access for Indian professionals, students and IT workers, which we know UK provides a very stringent rule for, but now there have been easier visa access. So UK agreed to recognize Indian qualifications in sectors like law, architecture and accountancy, and exemptions from UK national insurance for Indian workers posted temporarily. So the political significance, let me take you through the political significance of this meeting that for the United Kingdom, this was Keir Starmer's first big international economic win post-election, where he represented it as a proof that Britain can strike meaningful deals post-Brexit. And for India, this agreement was showcased that Modi-led strategic and economic breakthrough, which positions India as a trusted global trade partner. Now, this was also a big geopolitical message, which sent a strong signal of UK-India alignment and particular global shifts in the Indo-Pacific and the WTO trade reform and multilateral digital governance, we can also see this, and this can also be seen as as a counter to the EU-India slow trade progress and
That's
of course,
right.
Brexit.
That's right,
UK
Asmita. It's a
pivot
counter
to
on
Asia.
various fronts. Let me also go across to Aman. Aman, help us understand the key takeaways from the free trade agreement.
Sure. I mean, look, this is a good day for global Britain and New India. We have this historic landmark deal, which was kicked off by Prime Minister Boris Johnson under the Roadmap 2030, when he was Prime Minister. This is a real significant development in the sense that, look, this is exactly what Britain voted for in the EU referendum with Brexit, to take back control of our economic policy, of our trade policy, and of our geopolitical policy. And it really showcases where Britain is heading in terms of the Indo-Pacific tilt. India is a natural partner of choice for the UK. I mean, let's break this down. The world's fourth biggest economy in India and the world's fifth biggest economy. This is a real win for free trade. Both these economies are powered by free enterprise. The British people are some of the most innovative and inventive people in the world, as the same is true for the Indian nation. And that's why this is a great win. We hope to double the free trade between UK and India every year to £120 billion worth over the course of the next decade. But of course, this is not the only thing that matters in this FTA. Of course, this is trade matters, but so does geopolitics. And this is a real indicator from the UK where British geopolitics is heading. And that is to...
That's right, Aman. It's a historic moment for India-UK ties as they have inked yet another free trade agreement. We'll get you all the details on the other side of the short break. Stay tuned.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
आप अभी ये डिलीवर करने के लिए तैयार है। इसके साथ दोनों ही देशों को बहुत ही ज़्यादा आशाएं और बेनिफिट होंगी और दो देशों के लोग आपस में काम करके एक दूसरे के सहयोग करेंगे।
It is a deal that will bring huge benefits to both of our countries, boosting wages, raising living standards, and putting more money in the pockets of working people. It is good for jobs, it is good for business, cutting tariffs and making trade cheaper, quicker and easier.
और दोनों ही देश साथ में काम करके वेजेस बढ़ेंगी और वहाँ पे लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड भी बढ़ेंगी और लोगों के हिस्से में बहुत पैसे आएंगे और ये काम और व्यापार के लिए अच्छी होगी। वो टैरिफ काटने से ट्रेड सस्ता होगा और सहज होगा और सही होगा और सही होगा।
It is good for British workers in cutting-edge manufacturing, whisky distillers across Scotland, and the service sector in London, in Manchester and in Leeds.
और ये ब्रिटिश कामदारों के लिए बहुत अच्छी होगी वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आगे बढ़ के जैसे विस्की डिस्टिलरी है स्कॉटलैंड में और लंदन में मैनचेस्टर और लीड्स में सर्विस सेक्टर है और जो लोग इसका उपयोग करते हैं यहाँ यूके में इंडियन सामान अच्छे दामों में मिलके।
It is good for consumers because it will bring down prices on Indian goods in the United Kingdom, like clothes and shoes and food, and it will deliver benefits for the long term. It will add about £4.8 billion to the UK economy every year and £2.2 billion to wages and hundreds of millions of pounds to regions and nations up and down the United Kingdom.
और ये sorry यहाँ के कंज्यूमर के लिए बहुत अच्छा रहेगा और ये दोनों देशों में जो बातचीत होगी, ट्रेड होगी, जो बढ़ेगा.
Don't bother, we can use English words in between. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, His Excellency, I've lost the speech. His Excellency, I've lost the speech.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Sorry, do you want me to repeat? Yes, okay. I think we understand each other well. I mean, look, and we both know this is the biggest and most economically significant trade deal that the UK has made since leaving the EU. And I think I can say that it's one of the most comprehensive deals that India has ever done. So thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership and for your pragmatism. And I'd like to thank everybody who's worked so hard to get this deal over the line.
और आज ये जो बहुत बड़ी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव डील तैयार की है और कामयाब की है, उसके लिए मैं आपको बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कहना चाहता हूं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब. और ये दोनों टीम जहां काम करके ये जो काम पूरा किया है, इसके लिए मैं बहुत खुशी हूं.
And, you know, as I've said before, and as we were just discussing in our tête-à-tête, we've entered a new global era, and that is one that requires us to step up, not to stand aside, to deliver for the British people by building deeper partnerships and alliances. And today is very much confirmation of that approach.
और अभी वहाँ पे बात सब कर रहे थे आपके साथ बैठ के, हमने बातें की कि नई ग्लोबल एरा पैदा करनी है और इसके लिए हमको सब कुछ करना है जो हम सक्षम है, जिसके बाद ब्रिटिश लोगों को यहाँ पे बहुत ही बड़ी पार्टनरशिप मिलेगी आपके देश से, और यहाँ पे जो हम करने वाले हैं उससे दोनों देशों को फायदा होगा.
And the UK has been negotiating a deal like this for many years, but it is this government that got it done. And with it, we're sending a very powerful message that Britain is open for business. And that is already generating huge confidence. Today we're announcing nearly £6 billion in investment and export wins between India and the United Kingdom, creating over 2,200 jobs for British workers.
और ये जो ऐसी नेगोशिएशन मैं पहले बहुत की है, पर ये जो अभी हमने किया है ये बहुत ही बड़ा होगा, क्योंकि ब्रिटिश लोगों को और संसार को ये जानेंगे कि ब्रिटेन इज ओपन फॉर बिजनेस, व्यापार के लिए खुला है. और ये ब्रिटिश लोगों के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि ये 6 बिलियन पाउंड्स के 6 बिलियन पाउंड्स यहाँ पे नहीं पैदा होगा. और यूके और इंडिया ने जो ये साथ काम करने का निर्णय किया है, इससे 2,200 जॉब्स भी पैदा होंगे यहाँ पे.
But of course, as we've discussed this morning, this is not the extent or the limit of our collaboration with India. We have unique bonds of history, of family, and of culture. And we want to strengthen our relationship further so that it is even more ambitious, modern, and focused on the long term, the step up in the relationship that we discussed in the autumn of last year. And that's why, alongside this trade deal, I am delighted that we're building on our partnership by launching our India-UK Vision 2035 strategy, pledging to work more closely on areas such as defence, migration, climate, education and health.
और इस सुबह जब हमने बात की थी कि एक आपस के साथ कोलैबोरेट करेंगे, इससे ये साबित होता है कि हम लोग अपनी इतिहास, फैमिली और संस्कृति को बहुत ही मजबूत बनाना चाहते हैं, और जो मजबूत रहा है. और इसीलिए भविष्य में हम ये दोस्ती, ये रिश्ता स्टेप अप करना चाहते हैं। वो ट्रेड डील बना के और इंडिया और यूके 2035 विजन के आधार में वो जो डिफेंस है, माइग्रेशन है, एजुकेशन है, उस पर ध्यान देके।
We will also build on the fantastic work we already do in technology and innovation, celebrating the one-year anniversary of the landmark Technology Security Initiative and making the most of the opportunities it represents for both of our countries.
और टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन के क्षेत्र में भी अभी पहली एनिवर्सरी मनाया है जो हमने, वो टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशन, सिक्योरिटी के आधार पे है और ये आगे बढ़ेगा, इसका पूरा विश्वास है।
Work together as we strengthen security, growth and prosperity for working people in both of our nations. So let me now hand over to you to say a few words, and thank you again for your leadership on this.
Thank you.
Sorry.
प्रधानमंत्री स्टार्मर, फ्रेंड्स, नमस्कार।
Prime Minister Starmer, friends, namaskar, good morning.
सबसे पहले मैं प्रधानमंत्री स्टार्मर के गर्मजोशी भरे स्वागत सत्कार के लिए हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। आज हमारे संबंधों में एक ऐतिहासिक दिवस है। मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि कई वर्षों की मेहनत के बाद आज दोनों देशों के बीच कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक एंड ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न हुआ है।
First of all, let me extend my heartfelt gratitude to Prime Minister Starmer for the warm welcome and gracious hospitality. Today marks a historic day in our bilateral relations. I am pleased to note that after many years of hard work, the comprehensive economic and trade agreement between our two countries has been concluded today.
यह समझौता मात्र आर्थिक साझेदारी नहीं, बल्कि साझा समृद्धि की योजना है। एक और भारतीय टेक्सटाइल, फुटवियर, जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी, सी फूड और इंजीनियरिंग गुड्स को यूके में बेहतर मार्केट एक्सेस मिलेगा। भारत के एग्रीकल्चर, प्रोड्यूस और प्रोसेस्ड फूड इंडस्ट्री के लिए यूके की मार्केट में नए अवसर बनेंगे। भारत के युवाओं, किसानों, मछुआरों और एमएसएमई सेक्टर के लिए यह समझौता विशेष रूप से लाभकारी सिद्ध होगा। वहीं दूसरी ओर भारत के लोगों और इंडस्ट्री के लिए यूके में बने प्रोडक्ट्स जैसे मेडिकल डिवाइसेस और एरोस्पेस पार्ट सुलभ और किफायती दरों पर उपलब्ध हो सकेंगे।
This agreement does not merely pave way for economic partnership, but is also a blueprint for our shared prosperity. On the one hand, Indian textiles, footwear, gems and jewelry, seafood, engineering goods will get better market access in the UK. Indian agricultural products, processed food industry will find new opportunities in UK's market. This agreement will prove especially beneficial for India's youth, farmers, fishermen and MSME sector. On the other hand, people and industries in India will be able to access products made in the UK, such as medical devices and aerospace parts at affordable and attractive prices.
इस समझौते के साथ ही डबल कंट्रीब्यूशन कन्वेंशन पर भी सहमति बनी है। इसे दोनों के सर्विस सेक्टर, विशेषकर टेक्नोलॉजी और फाइनेंस के उसको एक नई ऊर्जा मिलेगी। ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस को गति मिलेगी, कॉस्ट ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस घटेगा और कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस बढ़ेगा। साथ ही यूके की अर्थव्यवस्था को भारतीय स्किल्ड टैलेंट मिलेगा। इन समझौतों से दोनों देशों में निवेश बढ़ेगा और रोजगार के नए अवसर बनेंगे। इतना ही नहीं, दो लोकतांत्रिक देशों और विश्व की दो बड़ी इकोनॉमीज के बीच हुए ये समझौते वैश्विक स्थिरता और समृद्धि को भी बल देंगे।
Along with this agreement, we also have reached a consensus on the Double Contribution Convention. This will inject new energy into the service sectors of both countries, especially in technology and finance. It will promote ease of doing business, reduce from India's skilled talent. These agreements will enhance investments and generate new employment opportunities in both countries. Moreover, as agreements reached between two democracies and two of the world's major economies, they will lend support to global stability and global prosperity.
फ्रेंड्स, अगले दशक में हमारी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को नई गति और ऊर्जा देने के लिए विजन 2035 जारी किया जा रहा है। यह टेक्नोलॉजी, डिफेंस, क्लाइमेट, एजुकेशन और पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट के क्षेत्रों में एक मजबूत, भरोसेमंद और महत्वाकांक्षी साझेदारी का रोड मैप बनेगा।
Friends, to give new momentum and energy to our comprehensive strategic partnership in the coming decade, today we are launching our Vision 2035. Vision 2035 is a roadmap that will form the basis of a strong, trustworthy, and ambitious partnership in the fields of technology, defense, climate, education, and people-to-people connect.
डिफेंस और सिक्योरिटी में साझेदारी के लिए डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रियल रोड मैप बनाया गया है। हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी सिक्योरिटी इनिशिएटिव को और मजबूत करने पर काम किया जाएगा। It is our commitment that from AI to critical minerals, semiconductors to cyber security, we shall create the future together.
A defense industrial roadmap has also been drawn up for partnership in defense and security. Work will continue on strengthening our technology security initiative. It is our commitment that from AI to critical minerals, from semiconductors to cybersecurity, we shall create the future together.
Friends, शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में भी दोनों देश मिलकर एक नया चैप्टर लिख रहे हैं। यूके की 6 यूनिवर्सिटीज भारत में कैंपस खोल रही हैं। पिछले हफ्ते ही भारत के गुरुग्राम शहर में साउथ हैम्पटन यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस का उद्घाटन हुआ है।
Friends, in the field of education too, we are writing a new chapter together. 6 universities of the UK are opening their campuses in India. Just last week, the University of Southampton inaugurated its campus in the city of Gurugram in India.
Friends, पहलगाम में हुए आतंकवादी हमले की कठोर निंदा के लिए हम प्रधानमंत्री स्टारमर और उनकी सरकार का आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। हम एक मत हैं कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ाई में दोहरे मापदंडों का कोई स्थान नहीं है। हम इस बात पर भी सहमत हैं कि एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधारा वाली शक्तियों को डेमोक्रेटिक फ्रीडम का दुरुपयोग नहीं करने दिया जा सकता। Those who misuse democratic freedoms to undermine democracy itself must be held account. इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंडर्स के प्रत्यार्पण के विषय पर भी हमारी एजेंसी सहयोग और समन्वय से काम करती रहेगी।
Friends, we thank the Prime Minister and his government for strong condemnation of the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. We are united in the belief that there is no place for double standards in the fight against terrorism. We also agree that the forces which espouse extremist ideologies should not be allowed to misuse democratic freedoms. Those who misuse democratic freedoms to undermine democracy itself must be held to account. Our security agencies will continue to enhance cooperation and coordination on matters such as the extradition of economic offenders.
Friends, इंडो-पैसिफिक में शांति और स्थिरता, यूक्रेन में चल रहे संघर्ष और पश्चिम एशिया की स्थिति पर हम विचार साझा करते रहे हैं। हम जल्द से जल्द शांति और स्थिरता की बहाली का समर्थन करते हैं। सभी देशों की संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता का सम्मान अनिवार्य है। आज के युग की मांग विस्तारवाद नहीं, विकासवाद ही है।
Friends, we have continued to exchange views on peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and the situation in West Asia. We support early restoration of peace and stability. Respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of all countries is essential. Today's era demands development, not expansionism.
Friends, पिछले महीने अहमदाबाद में हुई दुर्घटना में मारे गए लोगों में कई यूके के नागरिक भाई बहन भी थे। उनके परिवार वालों के प्रति हम संवेदनाएं प्रकट करते हैं। यूके में रहने वाले भारतीय मूल के लोग हमारे संबंधों में एक लिविंग ब्रिज का काम करते हैं। They did not just bring curry from India, but also creativity, commitment and character. इनका योगदान सिर्फ यूके की समृद्ध इकोनॉमी तक सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि यूके के कल्चर, स्पोर्ट्स और पब्लिक सर्विस में भी दिखता है।
Friends, last month in the unfortunate plane crash in Ahmedabad, our sisters and brothers of the UK were among those who lost their lives. I would like to express my deepest condolences to the families of the victims. The people of Indian origin in the UK form a living bridge that connects our two nations. They did not just bring curry from India, but also creativity, commitment, and character. Their immense contributions are not just limited to UK's prosperous economy, but are also visible in UK's culture, sports, and public service.
Friends, जब भारत और यूके मिले और वह भी टेस्ट सीरीज के दौरान, तो क्रिकेट का उल्लेख तो करना ही पड़ता है। For both of us, cricket is not just a game, but a passion, and also a great metaphor for our partnership. There may be a swing and a miss at times, but we always play with a straight bat. We are committed to building high-scoring, solid partnership. आज संपन्न हुए समझौते और विजन 2035 इसी स्पिरिट को आगे बढ़ाने वाले माइलस्टोन है।
Friends, I would be remiss not to mention cricket when India and the UK are coming together, especially during a test series. For both of us, cricket is not just a game, but a passion. And also a great metaphor for our partnership. There may be a swing and a miss at times, but we always play with a straight bat. We are committed to building a high-scoring, solid partnership. The agreements concluded today and Vision 2035 are milestones which advance this very spirit.
प्रधानमंत्री जी, मैं एक बार फिर आपके आतिथ्य सत्कार के लिए आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं आपको भारत यात्रा करने का निमंत्रण भी देता हूं और आशा करता हूं कि हमें शीघ्र ही भारत में आपका स्वागत करने का अवसर मिलेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Prime Minister, I thank you once again for your warm hospitality. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend an equally warm invitation to you to visit India. I am eagerly looking forward to hosting you in India very, very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
So there you just heard the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of UK, Keir Starmer. They're issuing a statement after India and United Kingdom signed a free trade agreement today. In fact, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer called this a landmark deal between both the nations and a start of a new era between India and United Kingdom. Let me go across to Yogesh Gupta, former ambassador, and Aman, who's joining us live from London. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us here. Just a while back, coming to you, Mr. Yogesh, first, just a while back, Prime Minister and Keir Starmer, as both of them spoke, and both of them called this a landmark free trade agreement. Your first reaction to this?
I think it's a very important agreement, both for India as well as the United Kingdom, that has been reached today, because these are India and the United Kingdom are two major economies. This agreement reflects the spirit of the new trade agreements which is being negotiated by the Modi government, which means that whatever agreements we work out must be mutually beneficial for both countries. As the previous discussion has indicated, this is going to lead to increased trade. This is going to improve trade in services. This is going to facilitate visits of IT professionals, business people, in getting them visas. It's going to help the people who are working in both countries to pay their social security contributions in their home countries. And in numerous ways, this is going to help both these countries in terms of signaling. I think this is going to be extremely important, because while some countries like the US, they are talking in terms of protectionism, high tariffs, and so on. China is talking in terms of weaponizing some of its trade items. Here is an example of these two economies, two big countries, trying to work out a trade deal which takes care of their mutual interest, which benefits both these countries, which is not exploitative and so on. So I think on the whole, this is a very important agreement, and the visit of the Prime Minister to UK is extremely important, because besides trade, there are so many other areas, the issue of Khalistanis in UK, the issue of, visas for the workers who are visas for the students who are studying in UK, all those issues, and a number of other issues like defense, collaboration in defense, high-tech collaboration in new emerging technologies. All those issues have also been spelled out by both Prime Minister Modi and the British Prime Minister. So on the whole, I would say it's a very important visit, and the results have been really spectacular.
Absolutely. So stay on with us. In fact, I'm also joined by Aman, my colleague, who's joining us live from London. In fact, coming to you, Aman, now this is a free trade agreement that has been signed between India and the United Kingdom that will boost the bilateral trade by $34 billion annually. Give us more details about this agreement.
This is a good day for global Britain and New India, the world's fourth and fifth largest economies. Look, we are two great civilizational nations that are tied together through the bonds of not just heritage and history, but also through shared values of democracy, of freedom and the rule of law, of pluralism. And free trade is a big part of it. Yes, you're right. This is going to boost trade by $34 billion a year. We hope to have $120 billion worth of bilateral trade over the next decade. And this is a real product. Today's free trade agreement this deal is a real product of Roadmap 2030, which was signed earlier by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Boris Johnson a few years ago. So it's a real hard work that has got us to this place. And today's announcement of Vision 2035, I think, is a key indicator of where we go next after this FTA. This FTA is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of a long journey of collaboration and cooperation between the world's greatest democracy, that is the billion ballot democracy of New India, and the world's oldest democracy here in the United Kingdom. We go from here to the Indo-Pacific. India is a unique partner for the UK, and vice versa, to keep the Indo-Pacific a free.
Absolutely. Landmark deal that has been signed between India and the United Kingdom. Let me also bring in Saurabh Shukla, founder of News Mobile. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. How do you look at this free trade agreement that has been signed between India and United Kingdom? Keir Starmer has called this a landmark agreement. Your first reaction to this?
I think, I consider this as a new strategic dawn between India and the UK. They are great partners. United Kingdom is an important member, a permanent member of the UN Security Council. This deal, if you ask me, is a strategic deal. Not only does it strengthen trade ties between India and UK, make sure it's a win-win partnership for business linkages between India and the UK, and also the consumers. Imagine the impact that will give. The Indian consumers will get access to the UK products at a much more competitive prices, and vice versa. The UK customers also get access to Indian exports at a much cheaper price. So it also boosts India's economy, also our global standing. I can tell you, this sends a strong message to other countries in the world on India's standing at a global stage. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's summit meeting today has already heralded a new era in India-UK partnership. And I will tell you, this will also spur countries like the US to fast track the negotiations that are happening between India and the US on the trade deal there as well. So you will see a impact happening there as well, but I would call it a strategic deal, a new dawn in India-UK paradigm of relationship, and it was being negotiated for a long time, and it will benefit consumers and people at large. So I would call it a people-centric deal as well.
Absolutely. This key deal has been inked between India and United Kingdom. Thanks so much for speaking to Republic TV. We'll continue to get you these updates and the visuals that are coming in from the United Kingdom. The deal that has been signed between India and United Kingdom. There on the screen is Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and his British counterpart. More on this on the other side. Stay with us.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।